that's online. Okay, I think Kimmy's on one. All right, so we're live here. I'm going to share this event. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I'm going to share this.
Well, I guess we'll run right into Mike then, or to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm sharing it now. Sharing the link now. Sorry about this, guys. Don't know why that did that.
Was that a warm up? Just tell people, yeah, we're just warming up.
All right, so let me get this recording, and then we can actually do this while I'm typing. Record. Okay, that's in. Let's share this. Share. Group. Okay, you don't need to let me know for 5 minutes that it was shared. Share a group. Oh, God, it's so annoying. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm live here. Hello, everybody. I hope you're seeing me all right. 2 viewers online right now. We dropped from 7 to 2 on that last one. That really upsets me. Why, hello. Thank you for calling Global Detection Adventures. Can I ask who's calling?
This is Mick from the high mountains of New Mexico.
Mick.
How's it going, Patrick?
Excellent. Yeah, I was watching and the stream cut out, but I figured I'd call in anyways, just to give an update, on the amazing development that I had over here with somebody finally found one of my treasure boxes and reported it for the first time, instead of just running off with it.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. So what exactly, how did that happen? What happened exactly?
Well, it's a kind of a bizarre story. I had just returned from my friend's funeral. He got killed in a motorcycle accident. Oh. And the local news media did they interviewed me about him, but I had made a memorial box for him that I showed her, and she took some pictures and some video of it. And so now I thought, oh man, now there's probably there could be a bunch of people looking for my treasure. So just out of coincidence, and it really was a coincidence, that after I got home that night, I get home and then this guy had posted, he had tried to add me as a friend and it looked suspicious. So I wasn't going to add him because I'm just like, this guy, we got nothing in common. I don't see, why he wants to join. And then so I added him as a friend anyway. And or he wanted to join the Vulcan Treasure Society, but I decided to add him as a friend first. That way I could see his page. And when I did that, he sent me the picture of the box. And just something about it, because it looked really dark and everything. And I was like, wow, this is so strange. But I all of a sudden, I just had the conspiracies just started racing through my mind. I thought maybe, the media had maybe even hired somebody to go out and find one of my boxes or something, which isn't the case. But he's just a night detector. He likes to go out at nighttime.
Yeah.
and when the park is to himself and digging the parks. And he said it made his day, and it made my day too. Really, in the end, I'm real happy about it, and I hope that maybe he can go out and perhaps return the favor to somebody else.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It really is. All right, Patrick, we're going to be putting that into the show for you when we actually go in. But right now we're going to. We had to restart the show because of the whole dead air, but we're going to be putting that in at one point and let everybody know about it. All right?
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's great, and yeah, it was just partially, everything was going smooth. And
Oop. Yeah, this is Lance. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Randall.
Randall. Yeah, we got people from all over calling in today.
Yeah.
So let me give everybody a heads up. You can call in here in a few minutes. We are going to be restarting the show now. If you give us about 5 minutes, we'll be doing the call in giveaway. Mike, Dave, you still around?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay, and then we got Frank on with us too, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Randall, just give us a few seconds and you can call back in, all right?
Okay.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Boy, this is crazy. Okay. Now we finally got the call-in lines working. Now they're going to be ringing nonstop. All right, so...
Well, you don't have to answer them, Lance.
Yeah, I know.
11:30 you do.
Yeah, I know.
11:30 you do it, and for Frank you have to.
Well, Frank's in right now.
But he's already here. Yeah. I know.
All right, so let's go ahead and redo the cold start and go into this. Dave, I was hearing you were talking to me last week that you were driving out to New York, and that was a whole new situation for me because it means that oh, this is insane. But anyway, you told me that you were driving to New York last week, and with a name like Di Natale, saying that you're driving to New York to see family means a lot more or something completely different to people like me. You're going to go see family.
Yeah, well, Lance, just don't ask me about my business, okay?
Yeah, I won't do that.
All right, welcome to the GDA podcast, guys and gals. I'm Dave D, and I am in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And along for the ride is Mike Counter. He is in Appleton, Wisconsin. Somewhere where the planet stops spinning is Lance Goolsby in Schweinfurt, Germany. This is the Global Detection Adventure live broadcast. And you can call in now. Lines are open, 920-455-5118. If you don't answer the phone, yeah, just keep trying back. We got a busy show today. We got a lot of people to get after. Mike Counter, he will be talking with John Ruth. He's a representative of White's Metal Detector. We got Frank Lopergolo of Detect America. Ask the Expert will be calling in. He's got the answer for us, hopefully. The Mike Spicer posed on our Facebook page. Why does a stack of silver coins come up as an iron target? We also have the Hot Topic is back, where the hosts have 30 seconds to make a case on a controversial subject. And also, we got a new game coming back, huh, Mike?
That's right, Dave. We're looking for a caller to play True or False today. You can win a great GDA prize package. You have to get 3 out of the 4 correct to win. The number is 920-455-5118. That's coming up as well.
Yeah, and we got Luke coming to us from the UK. He's going to be doing the news. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Laura with him, but he is sitting on the edge of a field looking out over what's going to be week 4 of the GDA UKDF. That's the UK Dirt Fishing Group's rally that's going on. This is week 4, and he's going to give us an update on how that's going out there, along with some of the other news around the world.
Well, let me tell you something. I was on Facebook the other day, and Mike Spicer, he's from Indiana. You guys probably know him. He's a really pretty good hunter out there, and he's used the XP Deus mostly. But he had a question. He saw something, and so he tested it out. Why does a stack of silver coins come up a iron target? So he tested it out. He got a stack of silver coins. He He stood them up on top of each other, iron target, iron buzz from the Deus and the AT Pro. He also laid them down, same thing. Another guy went to put a comment in his post saying that he's going to try it, and he did it with clad quarters. Same thing. The polar plot on the Deus showed a negative iron target. So the only thing I could think of is calling an expert in. If you guys know Frank Lopogola, he's from Detect America. Also, they have their own podcast, Detect America, which could be seen Friday nights, or seen and heard Friday nights at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we brought Frank in today to hopefully answer that question. Frank, are you there?
I'm here.
So, Frank, what can be the possibilities of this happening with a stack of silver coins coming up an iron target?
Well, first off the bat, the easy ones first. That if you're in a hot mineralized area, just remember that can wreak havoc. A lot of times, especially this past year, especially with clad targets, they'll drop out as a result of being affected by the ancillary mineralization. But that's the easy one. That's not the one that's being asked. So a couple weeks ago on our show, we were talking basically about how a metal detector works. A certain amount of pulses per microsecond, and then they come back in a very specific time. The more pulses in a shorter time, the higher the frequency. The fewer pulses in that same time, the lower the frequency. Well, what happens is a lot of metal detecting companies don't really allow for a silver dollar. We'll go to silver dollar. They don't allow for a silver dollar template in their bag of tricks with the processor and the metal detector. Because one, if you're going to get, everybody's going to dig that size target, and two, it theoretically should come up a really hot silver tone. So it's not really something that they're going to gauge in the machine. It's a target that should be dug. But what happens is when your metal detector puts a pulse into the ground, and it hits a piece of metal, the metal detector will gauge the time it takes for that electromagnetic field to pass through the piece of metal and respond back to the processor. That specific period of time is your response time, and that is how your processor will kind of determine what that coin is, also by its size. So what happens with silver, since they don't really have silver dollars or big chunks of piles of silver coins, since they don't really have a silver dollar template, it takes longer for that pulse to go through that pile of coins. It's going from coin to coin to coin to coin, and it's also getting caught up in the ground around that coin that may have some conductive materials. So when it gets to your processor, if a silver coin, let's say a silver coin should be the signal should go out, hit the coin, and come back in 2 microseconds. Let's say I'm making up numbers here. It comes back at 4 because it's traveling through 5, 6, 7 coins. The computer doesn't know what's in the ground. It knows what the response is. So it's reading a response that's very similar to, let's say, an iron response. Some machines are going to give you an iron tone. Your VDI machines that have a visual indicator, very, very often will give you a low number. I'll just an example, the CTX 3030 on an 8 real or on a silver dollar. Okay, the number that it gives you for that coin is pretty much the lowest number possible. It comes in 01, where coins usually come in the 12 sweet spot. So unless you are familiar with the machine or whatever machine you're using, the only real way to overcome this is to learn the tones. More importantly, if you got a VDI machine, is to learn the numbers. We know that a 01, which should be below crap iron, is actually something that we're going to dig, because we know that in that VD1, that overload kind of area is going to be potentially silver dollars or big piles of pocket spills of silver coins. It's just the time that it takes for that frequency to go through a larger number of coins that are touching each other. They're connected in some way. It's reading it as one big object. It slows down the resistance. The resistance increases in that coin and gives a bogus number to your machine, and your machine is interpreting it as junk.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Frank, well, let me ask you. Okay, you went through the CTX one, 3030.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm going to run 4 machines by you.
Sure.
What should if you get that, how can you discriminate if it's good or if it's a bad target? Say you're using the White's V3i.
V3i is a good one. The V3i is going to come up on a low number. Generally speaking, not always, but here's the thing with the V3i. You're going to get a good tone. Generally speaking, you should still get a good pop on the tone, and the V3i has a great feature, which is it's a percentile that they give you up in the corner of the screen. And if it's a pile of clad, it may give you the exact same number as that silver dollar, but what it's going to say is that the percentage of confidence, we call it around here, is going to be low. If you're getting those same numbers in a very decent tone, and it's telling you that it's a silver dollar or a large coin, and that percentile is up in that 90 percentile, then you better be digging that machine. Coin.
What about the AT Pro?
AT Pro being a single frequency machine, and this is not from experience. I haven't dug any silver dollars with the AT Pro, but a lot of the single frequency machines out there are gonna revert to their roots. And if it is reading as a junk target, a lot of these machines will automatically go to the iron grunt, whatever the junk target is, the iron tone is in that particular machine. A lot of your single frequency machines will go that route and tell you that it's iron, or will null out. If it's an iron null machine, it'll null out on it. So you're the more information that your particular machine can offer you in the way of tones, in the way of VDIs, you're definitely ahead of the game. I will tell you that what I've heard from some friends of mine, that if you are running a gold machine, not necessarily a PI, but a machine that will keep its frequency in the say the 35 to 45 kilohertz range, you have a better chance of picking that up as a target as opposed to a junk target. But yeah, it is what it is. You've got to listen. There's an old saying we have around here: it's dig everything.
And the XP day is the same thing.
Yeah, it's again, I'm not from experience with it, but my understanding is the XP Deus will revert back to the iron grunt.
Mike, you have anything for Frank regarding this topic?
No, that was very informative. Great information, Frank. Really appreciate you coming on. That was great stuff.
No problem, guys. Anytime.
Yeah, I love having
Frank on. That's Frank Lopergolo of Detect America. He's our expert here at GDA, and you can see him obviously on his Facebook page, Detect America, but you can listen to his podcast with the guys every Friday night.
Can I give a selfish plug real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Only because we're just about sold out, and I don't recommend anybody flying to South Jersey to be involved in the dig because we have 2 spots left. They probably won't be here at the end of the week. The Dig in South Jersey event is this coming Saturday morning. In Millville, New Jersey. Go to the Facebook page, Dig in South Jersey. We literally have 2 spots left. Just about every detecting company is actually going to be represented there. The Bell from the sunken Andrea Doria and the diver who found it. Wow. And we have our dig fields are planted with over 15,000 targets, most of them coins.
Wow,
that's crazy.
And tons of beer and food, right? I'm thinking.
We got it catered. It's going to be amazing.
Wow. It's a black tie event, right, Frank?
Yeah, almost.
All right, sweet. Well, 2 spots left. Oh boy, that's great. You guys better jump on that right now, man. If I was close to Jersey, those 2 spots would be gone right now.
Well, you know where I'd be.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Frank. We'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
All right, that was Frank Lopergolo of Detect America. Mike, our guest is going to come on. Our second guest is going to come on in a few minutes. Lance, we want to take a little break first, and then when we come back,
and we got a couple callers waiting. As soon as we come
Mike
back,
Counter will be talking to John Ruth. He's the rep of White's Metal Detector. So you're listening to the Global Detection Adventure podcast with Lance, Mike, and Dave, and we'll be right back right after these words.
All right, so we got one caller online right now. The other one hung up just a sec. Who's this on the line right now?
This is Randall.
Okay, Randall's on the line. I knew that the one number was yours. I'm not sure who the other one was. Unfortunately, we had Frank on, so I wasn't able to. I think the other one was going to be Dan Kinney.
Yeah, John should be calling in any second here.
Did you talk at all with the other person, Randall?
No, I was. I didn't want to interrupt him. I was going to ask a question about the dais.
Okay. Yeah, we got two Deus users here right now. Mike, you're using the Garrett, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So we got the two Deus.
Let's see how
here.
good I am.
Yeah.
Well, we're waiting for John to call in.
So what we'll do is
let me see if I can answer your question.
So we'll just do a comeback, and we'll have Randall on the phone.
All right.
Okay, so we'll give a slight break, and then you can welcome us back and welcome Randall on the phone. Anytime.
Oh, I thought we were going on a slight break. That was very slight. All right, we're back. You're listening to the Global Leech Section Adventure Podcast. I'm Dave D, along with Lance Goolsby and Mike Counter. And we have Randall Garrett on the line, and he's going to try to see if I can answer a Deus question. Now, I've only been using the Deus now for about 6 or 7 months, but I'm thinking I've got it down pat. Randall, what's your question?
Okay. How many times when you're out hunting do you get a signal that gives you a high tone but a low VDI number?
Usually I'll get a high tone with a low VDI number when it's it'll be trash. It'll be a weird piece of foil. I'll dig things in the 50s. To me, that's low. I'll dig things in the 50s, and it'll be just a piece of can slaw that's kind of large. What you want to do, though, for me, when I get a high tone, first of all, if I'm getting a VDI number, then I know that signal is relatively shallow. If it's super loud, that's either larger or even, more shallow. So what I usually do is when I'm sweeping the coil back to pinpoint it, you wiggle the coil back and forth to the right, to the left, and draw it back at the same time. And if that target is lingering, it doesn't all of a sudden you hit the pinpoint spot, but then you keep drawing it back and you still kind of hear it, then I know it's a large target, and it's usually can slaw. The high tones will give me can slaw, big soda can crushed deep down. 50s, I've gotten 50s, 70, low 70s, 60s, except for the nickels coming at 63. But down in the 50s, 40s, even 30s, I'll know it's a trash target. But you know what? I dig it sometimes depending on where I'm at. If I'm at a new spot, I'll always test it out to see what they have below the dirt. Now, if they got some trash that's, 6, 7, 8 inches deep, I'm thinking, well, this probably fill. This whole area probably has some fill in it. I don't know. Did that answer your question? How deep or how low are your tones getting?
Well, the reason
how
asking,
low is your VDI number getting?
I've
with the high
done a
tones?
bunch of them like that, and 90% of the time it's been trash. But there has been a couple of times that they've been 6 or 8 inches, and I've pulled out a couple of mercury dimes, and the numbers have been down in the 20s and 30s.
Okay, well, if that's happening, you're pulling a mercury dime out of there, because I tell you, silver with the Deus,
but a high squeak.
Yeah, well, silver with the Deus is pretty accurate, but if you're getting a 30, you might right next to it. You found the silver before you found the trash piece. Maybe the silver was on edge or underneath the trash piece, and you were picking up the trash piece. That could be it too. Like Frank says, you got to dig everything. That holds true for me to a certain extent. Most of the time, I won't, especially if I'm in parks I've been through before and I know what to look for, what to listen for. Mike, does that happen with your AT Pro? How about you, Lance, when you're in the farm fields?
Yeah, I've had that issue once or twice prior also, where I get a really high tone but a low VDI. I always take it upon myself to dig those up, because one thing that I was listening to Gary from XP, one of the things that he told me was always listen to the tone. The tone is the first thing you should listen to. It might end up being trash, but just like Randall was saying, 90% of the times it might be trash, but that 10%, those are some of those things, it might just be how it's sitting in the ground. The VDI number might not come up correctly. So
yeah, here it's how much time you got. If you're out there for a couple hours, you'll probably skip it and say, you know what? If I got more time, I'll come back and get it. It's not going anywhere. But I mean, Mike, you're working with the AT Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that similar thing? You get high tones with low VDI numbers and it's trash?
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times too, and I kind of go with Frank's lead. When I'm out there, I try to dig just about everything. I know it's hard sometimes because as you go along and you're detecting, you're out there 6-7 hours. It's hard to keep doing those up downs. But I try when I'm out to dig just about everything.
Yeah.
I just noticed recently. Is our caller in yet, Lance? Just
not yet.
Okay. I just noticed recently with the DAS. Well, not recently, but for the last few 3-4 months, I would be leaving the zinc pennies in there because I know they ring in about 86, sometimes 85, even as low as 83. But then I realized start looking at those 79s, 80, 81, 82, and 83, and if that number is coming in, I call it the surprise range, because every time I dig it, it's a surprise. Sometimes it's going to be a cool button, lead bullet, maybe a shotgun shell. It could be a ring. But that range, if it's like fluctuating from 79 to 80, sometimes that's usually just going to be trash. But if you get a solid 79, a solid 80, solid 81 or 2, I'm starting to dig all those up, because I found recently that 80% of the time it's going to be a really cool surprise. It's not going to be worth much, but something that you don't expect.
Does that help you out at all, Randall?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
I've noticed a lot of that. It depends on if I'm hunting a park. Some of the lower VDI numbers I don't dig, but if I'm hunting an old house place, I try to dig it all from like the 30s up.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of cool relics doing that way.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good trick or rule of thought is if you're at a new site, you always got to test it, even if it's something that you don't usually dig at a park. When you're at a site that's maybe hasn't been hunted or is very old, you just want to see what the soil has, what your machine is ringing up, so you can make your adjustments accordingly.
And I've been using Lance's program exclusively over here, and since March, since I've got the DAS, and it's been working wonderfully for me.
Yeah, that's the GDA mode that I gave you the settings for that. I'll eventually get those settings back up onto the Facebook group so that anybody can use those. I use those exclusively over here as well.
The only thing that I've done to it is over here, most of my places, there's a lot of trash, and I've run the discrimination up to about 28 to 30, and it cuts out most of the iron stuff.
Okay. Well, Randall, we're going to have to let you go. We got our caller coming in. This is John, so we're going to bring him in. So thanks for calling, Randall.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Take it easy.
Take care, Randall.
All right. So we got John on the line. Mike?
All right. Joining us on Global Detector Adventures podcast is John Ruth, who is based in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. John, first off, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me as a guest on the show. Really appreciate it.
No, we really appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Hey, John, you've been metal detecting for quite some time. Tell us how you got started in the hobby.
Oh, man, it was back in 2000. My father used to metal detect, actually, in the late 60s. And in 2000, I found his old metal detector. It was a White's, the White's Goldmaster. It was that big blue metal box, real clunky with the meter, the needle, the gauge on it. And just out of curiosity, I took it out a few times, just to putz around with it, check it out. And I kind of had fun. So,
well, you've done very well in the hobby, John. That's for sure. You're a representative for White's metal detectors. I see you all over on the cover of their brochures, their calendars. How did you end up becoming a rep, a field team member for White's, and what does it all entail?
Well, that started about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, I submitted some photographs to whites that were some pictures. Oh, I got some buddies pulling up too. I submitted some photographs to whites, and they really liked them. I have a friend who's a professional photographer, so that kind of helps. She took some really good pictures of me out digging, and they really liked them. They wanted to use them in some advertising, and I gave them the okay to do that. And then after further talks with them, it just led into more.
Huh. So what do you do as a field team member? What are your responsibilities, John?
As a field team member, brand ambassador, right now we're required to do a couple videos per month. So starting this month, I'll be doing 2 videos and posting to YouTube every month. And then just kind of being active in the metal detector community, talking to people, helping metal detectorists learn how to do different things such as research and hunt places, especially the whites users, that have the whites machines and have questions about settings and any problems they might have. We're just there to kind of help and support the hobby.
John, I've mentioned on this show that this is your time of the year. When the crops are clear, you're in the fields. I know I've been with you a couple of times, and I've seen some of your finds. Why do you like detecting the fields, and what type of homework do you do before you detect certain fields?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of research that comes into play with that. A lot of studying old maps and looking for the old home sites. It's always good to broaden your search out, too. You never know what you'll run into. We've run into some prehistoric Native American camps out in the fields, along with other cabins that are completely undocumented. But it's just, it's less intrusive to the property owners. It's not like you're right in somebody's front yard digging, so it's a little bit quieter when you get out in the country. And I think the rate of permission kind of goes up too. People don't seem to mind if you're out there, just in a farm field poking around,
Sure. Now, John, you've made some remarkable finds. I know it's a long list, and I've seen some of them. Can you share with our listeners some of your more impressive finds?
Oh, yeah. Well, being in the state of Wisconsin, Wisconsin became a state in 1848. So there are some old things to be found here, but I've actually found quite a number of bust coins in the state, along with some Spanish 2 reals and half reals as well, dating back into the 1700s. Also around this area, we have the copper culture existed in prehistoric times, where Native Americans were mining raw copper out of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and Lower Canada and forming it into tools and then trading it. So there is the potential to find, and I've found quite a number of different types of tools and implements and weapons made out of copper from prehistoric times.
Lance, Dave, any questions for John while we got him on the air?
Sure, John, Dave D here. Formerly a whites user, but still use it every once in a while. The V3i. Sure. Is that their whites? That's their top of the line, the V3i right now. And is there any updates coming to that machine that you know of?
To the V3i? Not that I'm aware of. No, I think the V3i is a really good machine, and I think that one's going to be left alone for a little bit.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about the MX Sport? I know a lot of users are probably getting around that more. It's a little bit more reasonable as far as price. How does that compare to the rest of the machines that whites distribute?
Well, MX Sport is just kind of a different machine altogether. It's White's newest machine. It's also a completely submersible waterproof machine. I've been using it for, I think, 2 years now. I got one right away being a brand ambassador, and I got to say, I'm pretty impressed. The depth on it is really good, but not only that, it's the ability to pick up really small targets deep, which is really impressive. They came out with a few different coils after its initial release, one of them being the 7-inch D-Tech coil, and that coil is just amazing. I mean, it's 7 inches, so you get really good separation with stuff, but you really don't, it doesn't seem like you're losing any depth from the 10-inch coil.
Wow.
They also make the 13-inch D-Tech coil, which is good if you're looking to cover, large areas. And the depth on that is it's even more. It's ridiculous. We were digging, my friend and I yesterday, and I dug a pocket knife with a brass handle, and it was well over a foot, and I picked it up pretty clear in the woods. So there's sticks and brush and stuff around too, but it's a great machine. I love it. It's found a lot of good things for me.
So do you use both? Do you use the V3i also? Or
I don't have a V3i. No, I have a MXT All Pro.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I like that is I get better depth as a sport for sure, but with the All Pro, it's just kind of simple. It's simple to use. Plus, I have a little 4x6-inch double D shooter coil on it that works really good for in the farm fields around these old cabin sites. Usually, there's a lot of nails and iron and just trash, And that little tiny coil allows you to kind of get in between all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike's been talking about you a lot lately, and since you're only in Fond du Lac and he's in Appleton, I'm in Green Bay, we definitely got to get out and hunt together sometime. I switched over to the Deus, but I was a V3i user for almost 4 years. But it's a great machine. Weiss definitely has great products. The technology is probably right up there with the best of the best. Is there anything before you leave, John? Is there anything that you'd like to promote or talk about for Weiss, the company, or yourself?
Yeah, just Weiss Electronics. I know they got some great things in the works too coming up. I'm not really at liberty to say exactly what, but keep your eye on them as a company. The customer service is always improving, and anybody who is using a Weiss currently or has any questions about a Weiss, feel free to contact one of the team members. They have no problems answering questions, even myself. Like I said too, supposed to be doing the 2 videos a month coming up, so you can look up John Ruth on YouTube or on Instagram. I go by Johnny Relic.
All right.
On there. So feel free to contact me if anybody had questions about the machines or finds or places to go on either one of those 2 spots.
John, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I know you're up north, and I know you're with some buddies and you're doing some detecting. Best of luck out in the fields today, and thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for the info, John. Hopefully we get to meet sometime.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, John. Enjoy your day.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye now.
Yep. Bye-bye. So that's John Ruth. He's a rep for Weiss Electronics, and he's up north right now, hunting the fields, metal detecting, and good information there from John.
Absolutely. Sweet. Great information.
All right, well, let's take a little break right now. When we come back, first of all, we're looking for a caller to call in to play our game. True or false. I'm going to give you 4 metal detecting questions. You got to let me know if they're true or false. If you get 3 out of the 4 correct, you are a winner. You'll get a GDA little prize package mailed out to you. Also, when we come back, we're going to do a little hot topic here. I got a controversial metal detecting question, and we're going to give each of the hosts a chance to 30 seconds to give their input on this.
Yeah. Number to call 920-455-5118.
Yeah, that's 920-455-5118. And
what's the number again?
We're going to be taking caller number 3. So whoever comes in, if you get hung up, just try and, if I decline the call to begin with, caller number 3 is going to be the one that comes in. But until then, we are going to be playing the news for you guys. We'll talk to you guys in just a few seconds.
Hey, Lance, Dave, Mike, Luke here from the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Just a quick update on the UKDF GDA rallies of the last few weeks. We have actually now had 2 half-cut medieval hammered silver coins come up and 1 quarter cut. And at the east Hoathley site, we also had a nice Roman fibula brooch arise. So we finally managed to dig down to some of the older stuff. So I've just arrived in Devon for a week's holiday. I'm currently sitting out on the balcony of a log cabin overlooking just over 200 acres of pasture that myself and Laura have to detect over the next 7 days. We've known the farmer for about 5 or 6 years now. He's never allowed detecting on this land before, so some nice virgin land to detect in Devon. So some interesting news, as always, has hit the pages of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine over the last week. Including a great article about the 5th and highest level of Rome's Colosseum being open to the public for the first time in 4 decades. The Colosseum in Rome can hold an incredible 50,000 spectators, and the 5th level would have been used by Rome's poorer citizens. You would only have a partial view of the contests taking place inside the Colosseum. In Rowton Moor near Woodham Spa in the UK, 2 detectorists needed hospital treatment after digging up mustard gas canisters. The woodland was a former RAF Woodhall Spa training base until it was closed in the 1960s. Bomb disposal were called and the 2 detectorists were treated for minor burns and breathing problems. In Switzerland, on a remote mountain pass, a treasure trove of artefacts, including flint arrowheads and what may be a leather bag, have been discovered by archaeologists. A hot summer and a lack of snow meant the items became exposed. Researchers are currently examining the Bronze Age items. And over in America, dozens of bodies buried next to the MGM casino are due to be moved. The Addison Family Cemetery, on a hill across from the MGM's Park and Ride, is the final resting place for a colonial family that settled there in the 1600s. 36 bodies buried hundreds of years ago are being exhumed and moved to a nearby church to allow development. And the finder of that incredible Roman denari hoard that was found last month in the UK has been named. Mike Smale, 35 years old, found the hoard whilst out detecting with the Southern Detectorists Group. A single coin, dependent on condition, can sell for up to £900, and Mark found over 600 of them. The proceeds will be split 50-50 with the landowner and Mark. And digging with KG and Ringy continues on the Pursuit channel. If you do not receive the Pursuit channel, full details of how you can watch that channel and watch the program on either your mobile phone or laptop can be found on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine website. And there are many, many more articles available on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. It's an online-only magazine. It's updated daily, and that can be found by tapping in archmdmag.com. That's archmdmag.com. And that's it from me today, guys. I'm going to get the car unpacked, get the kettle on, have a nice hot cup of coffee, and then I'm going to get the routers out and start hitting some of these fields. So hopefully I have some nice finds to post up on the Global Detection Adventures group wall later today and this week. Cheers, Lance. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Mike. Have a good show, guys.
It's fantastic. Love having him on. Hey, yeah, the mustard gas. How about that one, huh?
I wonder how that tastes on a hot dog.
Well, I want to make an announcement. Whoever area code 316 is, you keep calling in. I got you in, and then you hang up and then call in again. You're on the show, so please call in again. Whoever it is, area code 316. I believe that's Kansas somewhere. Give us a call, and you get a chance to take part in the giveaway today. So please call back in, and we'll definitely get you on the show.
All right, well, we're back. Now, guys, this is a hot topic. It's a controversial topic. It's been probably posted around Facebook for probably since metal detecting began. The question is, and we got 30 seconds. Let's get a timer. You got a 30-second timer we could set up for.
Let's go
Mike,
ahead.
We're gonna what? Go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk with whoever this is that just called in. Hey, who's this right that called in?
Hey, this is Jerry King from Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, how are you doing, Jerry?
I'm great. I've tried to get on with you for the last couple of months, and either I missed you or you were having technical problems, and I couldn't get in. So happy to be on finally.
Yeah, great having you in.
Well then, Jerry, how about you want to play the game with us? True or false? I'm going to give you 4 metal detecting questions. All right?
All right.
After each question, you're going to tell me if it's a true or a false statement that I make. And if you get 3 out of 4, you're a winner. If you get 50-50, you're a loser. All right? But we'll still send you a patch for playing. All right?
Okay.
Do I have any music for this game? Like like Jeopardy music?
Well, we can do this one.
All right, that's cool. All right, let me get my stories. All right, here's the first one. Are you ready? The average trash picked up by metal detectors is, the average trash picked up by metal detectors can fill 2 5-gallon buckets in one detecting season. And if you stack the buckets on top of each other, it could reach to the moon and back. Is that true or false?
And you're talking just me or all the metal detectors?
You. I'm talking all the metal detectors. The average for each metal detector, the average is 2 5-gallon buckets of trash that they will pick up every year that they go out detecting.
Okay, I'm gonna, as much trash as I pick up, I'll probably venture and say true.
That one is false. I just made that one up.
Well, then people aren't picking the stuff out of the ground.
All right, well, if you get the next 3 right, you're still a winner, Jerry. But you're always a winner in our book.
Yeah, always.
All right, you ready? True or false? Oh, man, I seen this one coming. There's a major metal detecting company out there, and I'm not going to name the name because I don't want to, cause any kind of rumors or anything. But there's a major metal detecting company that has a class action lawsuit against them for injuries while using the machine. Some of the injuries are for shoulders, arms, neck, and back due to the product's weight and unequal balance. Is that true or false that this lawsuit has been taking place? Class action lawsuit.
No, if it's in the U.S., it's probably true because everybody sues everybody over anything.
Sorry, Jerry, that one's false too. Just made it up today. Okay, well, you can't be the grand prize winner, but at least you're going to get a GDA patch. But we'll continue to play the game, all right? Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. An unprecedented one-day hunt will be offered to metal detectorists residing in the United States. Gettysburg National Park Service will give 200 detectorists a chance of a lifetime. 200 will be picked from a lottery. You have to be a U.S. citizen. All the fines have to go back to the Gettysburg Civil War Museum. If you're picked, though, you have to plunk down $1,000 that will be donated to the historical museum. Story true or false?
I'm going to say false.
You are right. All right. Well, you got a shot to being 50-50 here. Let's get the last story up in here. Let me just plunk that up real quick. Okay. This is about the metal detectors. Now, the original metal detectors, early in the 1800s, were used. They wanted the prospectors to use them to hopefully find ore and stuff that was deep in the ground. But actually, one of the detectors that was put together by the great inventor Graham Bell, he used the detector to help find a bullet. And I forgot, who was a president that it had happened to? Let me just see here real quick. One of our presidents got shot.
Wasn't it Garfield, I think?
Garfield, that's who it was.
No, not the cat. Not the cat.
He used the metal detector to try to locate the bullet. But that actually, the bullet, he couldn't get it because the springs in Garfield's bed was throwing off the metal detector. That story true or false?
I'm gonna have to say false on that one.
Nope, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But they couldn't find the bullet, and eventually he succumbed to his
What year was that in, Lance?
Oh, let me think. That one was in the late 1800s. It was after Lincoln. He had actually been shot. Andrew Garfield had been shot and was lying in his bed and was friends with Thomas Edison. And Edison actually created the first metal detector to try and find the bullet. But as he was scanning the body, like Dave said, the problem was the springs underneath them were causing the metal detector to go off. And Patrick White just wrote, it's 1881. It was 1881.
Well, 1 out of 4. That's not bad for the first-time player.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And he wins one of the brand new design GDA patches. So, and there's only a handful of these out there, and even I don't even have one.
Well, Jerry, I think we still have your address from way back when you were a guest on our show. If that hasn't changed, I'll be sending you out that little prize package for you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Appreciate that. How's everything else? You guys getting out and doing any detecting or not?
Oh, yeah. I haven't been out, but I'm going to be going out probably in the next week. The local newspaper has actually invited me. They want to do an article over me and the hobby, so I'm going to be acting as a humble, I guess you could say, ambassador for the hobby for the Germans, and so that's going to be fantastic. I'm going to love doing that.
All right, good. Good.
Yeah, myself a few times in the
I'll wait
last
to see
month.
that at 60 Minutes.
What's that?
True or false? Your show is going to be featured on 60 Minutes.
That's absolutely true. And my clock, I'll have it on 60 minutes. Yeah, it's good.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and let you go, Jerry. Thank you so much for calling in. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. And so what's your coin count up to this year so far?
No, I think I just passed the 1,300 mark. I'm about, about 1,500, 1,800 less than last year. And I'm getting weaker and weaker with my disability, so I'm not getting out as much. And yesterday I did go out and collected about 16 flat coins in the first 45 minutes, and then my power chair broke down, and
oh geez,
I don't know when we'll be able to go again. So,
Jerry, we always love having you on. We're gonna have to bring you back on later this year and get a good talk with you and find out how everything's going on. As far as you now, you are that power chair detector on YouTube, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check out Jerry King online, check out that power chair detector. He's a handicap metal detector in a powered chair.
Yeah, power chair detector guy is what it's called.
That's it. Power chair detector guy.
Jerry, you're an inspiration. Keep it up.
All right, you take care, guys.
All right, thank you for playing, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. Well, all right. Our first player for the game. I think it turned out really good.
What about you guys? What did you get? How many did you get out of the 4?
I knew the one for sure. I think The second one I said false, but I would have been just at 50-50. I was no better.
Three out of four.
Wow.
Really? Wow. I need to do a correction. It was Alexander Graham Bell. I said it wrong. It wasn't Thomas Edison. It was Alexander Graham Bell who invented the first metal detector. So
That actually was an inspiration from another guy from Europe that built actually the first one. Wanted to use it for the same thing. Can't remember his name, but and then Alexander Graham Bell just kind of made it a little bit better.
yeah, of course.
And actually used it.
So what I did, guys, is I just played along. So Dave, when you asked the question, I wrote down my answer: true or false. So I played along. 3 out of 4.
Which one did you get wrong?
The second one.
The second one. Really? With the lawsuit, class action lawsuit?
Yeah, I just haven't been able to follow the news as closely the last few weeks, so I wasn't sure, so I guessed on that one.
I figured
The Gettysburg one is probably going, what? Oh, man. How can I get in there? I'll pay $1,000. Yeah. That's just good writing, guys. That's what can I tell you.
I would have done
All right.
the first one. I kind of figured.
Yeah, let's. You guys want to do that controversial topic, or do you want to do a break, or what do you want to do, guys?
We can do a short break, and then we'll come back with the controversial topic. What we'll do, let's just take a break, and then we'll be back.
I am a tool. I am a voice generated from a computer that will break soon. Black-8 shovels are not tools. They are weapons. And the ground is scared of them. Unlike me, they will be around for a long time to come. They are perfectly built. Really unlike me. Perfection. On a new level. www.black88.com.
All right, guys, so we can take a short break. I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Take a short break. If you want to grab something to drink, go ahead and grab something to drink. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We'll be back in just a couple seconds. This is our mandatory potty break.
What?
I don't know. Union rules. We got to take a potty. I'm just going to go grab a tea. I'll be right back.
Does he mean like smoke pot or actually potty?
John just instant messaged me. He said right in the middle of his interview, he had some competitors show up.
What do you mean, like just different detectors?
Yeah.
Like companies? Oh.
No, just different detectors out in the area that he's detecting up north.
Oh, so he's by himself today?
No, he's got another guy he's with, but he wasn't sure who the people were that were pulling up, but they were other detectorists.
What is he in a permission or just at a?
I'm sure he's at a permission of a field somewhere up north.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's what he hits now. He'll hit those hard now, right up till, as long as he can go.
Yeah, I was going to ask him about, what's the average amount of fines that when he goes out to a field because they're so big,
Yeah,
so,
but what he does, Dave, is he studies it so hard that the fields are. I mean, I've been with him on a couple hunts. They go on for acres and acres and acres. But he finds an area that he knows it was a house or an old farmhouse or whatever, and just hits that area. And he pretty much has it. He knows exactly the distance. Like, we're going to go 100 yards this way, and we're going to go 50 yards this way.
Yeah, like this, like when we went to the park, we went to Four Seasons Park, right?
Yep.
All our stuff was found in this little triangle,
Yep, exactly.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
Because honest to God, the first time I went out with him, I said, "We're detecting this." I mean, it was just massive. I can't remember how many acres, but I think it was like 800, and you could see Lake Winnebago way down in the distance, which is another key element, water, right? He said, yeah, but we're only going to focus on this small area right here. And you could see there was just a little bit of a knoll there,
Right.
And he knew that there was a farmhouse there, and And
yeah,
that's
because what do you do? What do you do when you get a big, huge field? You just take it all the way up, all the way down. Or do you meander and then you get all frustrated because you don't find anything?
Right. That's why you have to really know what was there before.
Right. Yeah. So I've been talking to Sonia, and I told her that I might want to get up there before it gets too cold. Maybe we could leave. I don't know what's your schedule like. We could leave Friday after work.
We're gonna, for me, Dave. It's just gonna be. We'll see what happens now.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if you wanted to go, I'm okay with going, but it's like, do I really want to go, or it's a 6-hour ride, and to find a couple coins or something, even though there'd be bucket listers, do I really want to do that?
Sure.
If I had better sites here, I would just stay here. But
what are we talking about?
Going to Indiana to detect with Sonia.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm up to doing that since that big car drive to Buffalo.
Yeah, that's quite a trip for you guys.
I might do it. I mean, it's 5.5, 6 hours, and then you get there, so you sleep over, then you metal detect all day Saturday, and then you drive back on Sunday. So is it worth it? I don't know.
Yeah. And that's kind of my big thing. I mean, I'm going to be flying out, hopefully with luck, next summer. So I'm going to be trying to get some people to come detect with me. I'm going to be in Omaha area. I can't travel too far from there.
Yeah. We back? Are we back all the time?
Where is this echo coming from?
I don't know. Check. I'm good.
It's on my side, but I don't know why.
I'm gonna get that done. I'm here.
Is it coming from
Mary? I'm gonna do it.
Richard's in.
Who's in?
Richard Crunkmeyer. He finally made it live. Okay, I don't seem to be hearing myself anymore. It's weird.
I'm gonna have to step out about 12:30, guys.
All right. Yeah, we're about to bring in the last guest of the day. Unless we want Richard Crunkmeyer to come on. He can probably come on and talk with us as well. But we got coming in, let me see, Dan Kenny, if you're listening, please give us a call at 920-455-5118.
Are we going to do your question now, Dave?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the hot topic going. I need a 30-second timer, Lance.
Okay. All right. So let's come back.
Mike, you're gonna go first?
I'll go first, sure.
All right.
Just a second. Who's this calling in now? Hey, who's this? Oh, wait. I gotta turn on the computer. Who's this? Hey, who's calling in right now?
This is Dan Kenny.
Oh, Dan. All right. I was going to give you a heads up. Give me about 5 minutes. We're going to do a little quick segment real quick, and then you'll hear it going on. And then right as we get to the end of that, you can call in. I'll answer the phone, and then we'll bring you in right after we get done.
Will do.
Okay. I'll talk to you in a sec. All right, so
we're ready for the hot topic.
I'm recording so we can come back, do a short pause, and then we come back. All right, we're back with the Global Detection Adventures podcast. I'm Lance. Thank you for joining us. As always, Dave, you want to do the hot topic?
Yep, here's the hot topic question for Mike. Let's set that timer 30 seconds, Mike. You got 30 seconds to answer this question.
All right.
No more, no less. Well, you can do it less if you want, but no more than 30 seconds. You ready, Mike?
It starts when the question's done.
When the question's done. You are out in the woods. You're metal detecting. You come across a graveyard that has been obviously neglected for many, many, many years. Do you hunt to detect the graveyard and go.
I'm dead against it. No pun intended. I just think what can give the hobby a bad name is when someone is caught detecting in a graveyard or a cemetery area. Some places are simply off limits, in my opinion. It's my opinion. And hunting cemeteries or graveyards, to me, is a no-no. Some people push the limits, and everything we do, I get it, to get the advantage. But I think ethically it's wrong. Hunting graveyards, cemeteries, no. Off limits.
Absolutely.
And that's it for me.
Yeah, and perfect timing. Exactly 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Lance, you ready for this one?
Yep, I'll do the same one.
Go.
Well, with me, I used to be a ghost hunter. That was one of my other hobbies. And I know that if you disturb the resting places of a lot of people, it causes a lot of hardships. First of all, I respect the dead. I highly respect the dead. So I will not be doing any kind of graves, either medieval or otherwise, and unless it is an archaeological dig. Otherwise, it is completely taboo and off limits. I do not do that because I do not want to bring anything home with me or disturb the dead.
Good answer, both of you guys. But I'm going to tell you something.
All right.
I'm going to rub everybody's grain. Are you ready? Set me to 30 seconds.
All right. Begin now.
Now, if I had this opportunity, I actually got an opportunity. It was a graveyard from the late 1700s. It's pretty much, it wasn't publicly owned. It was a private cemetery. Headstones were turned over. What we did is we cleaned out that whole place. We got rid of all the roots, the high grass. We mowed it. We kept it nice and tight and clean. Why? Little respect for the dead. Then we had to make sure all the chain link fence was all put back into place. We actually kind of try to fix up the headstones that were broken. But after all is said and done, man, I was curious. What's inside this place? Well, I did a little detecting, and I did find a few articles. But my intentions were not to keep the articles. I log them, take pictures of them, then I will do a Vulcan Treasure Society gig, and I will rebury them probably either the center of the cemetery, or if there was a big tree by, I would put a note in there and say, this is what I found, and rebury them to keep them in the cemetery. That's my answer.
That's interesting. I know that's being part of the Vulcan Treasure Society and reburying it. That would be fantastic. I know Patrick would love that one.
Yeah, you don't want to just desecrate anything. You're not going to dig 6 feet down and hit coffins, or even 3 feet, because you don't know how deep they went back then. But you find something that was meant or left for the person's gravestone. Maybe it fell off the headstone, it broke, whatever. But you put it all together, you make a little memorial, and you stick it back in. But you know what's in the ground. You get to find it, and you get to rebury it.
We got a comment.
Put a little note there.
We just got a comment from Patrick. He wrote, "Yeah, Dave." Woo, woo.
Yeah, see?
All right. So we got somebody coming in right now, somebody that I've been wanting to talk to for a while. This is a guy who actually flew out to England to attend the GDA UKDF rally that was out there. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. His name is Dan Kinney. He's from the United States, and I really want to get an American opinion on how metal detecting is in the UK. So, Dan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So now you went to the UKDF rally, I think it was 2 weekends ago, correct?
I went to Detective.
Oh, Detectival. And how was that out there? That was a really busy weekend. I know that.
I thought it was absolutely amazing. Coming from the U.S.,
yeah,
we find something 200 years old. It's old.
Mm-hmm. And out there, exactly what kind of stuff were you digging up? What were you detecting?
I found a small Roman, which I was happy with. It was probably 250, 300 AD is what they told me.
Oh, wow. So
I found a knife. Don't really know the date on that. They said possibly medieval. Found lots of musket balls from the British Civil War.
Yeah.
Those were actually, you could just dig a hole and find those. They were everywhere. Hobnails, lots of things, watch winder, good spread of ages, actually.
Oh, wow. That watch winder would be fantastic to find. I haven't found one of those. Hobnails are everywhere over here in Europe. Oh,
Yeah.
it's insane.
I was happy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, what kind of events were you actually attending while over at Detectable? That's a huge festival that was going on.
Yeah, we were actually pretty tired a lot of the nights. I mean, they had a lot of vendors and stuff like that. We got to watch the Mind Lab Equinox Expose,
Oh, wow.
which everybody's waiting in the wings to see how that works out.
Yeah, that was the one that was dropped in by parachute, correct?
Yes, it was. It was a skydiver came out of a plane and brought it in. It was pretty neat.
What an entrance that's
Mhm.
man. That was cool. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, this is the Equinox is kind of the Mind Lab's entry into the higher end. It's still in a medium price range, but it's supposed to be you could almost call it the V3i or the Deus equal or almost equal.
Right. I'm waiting to see what it's like. I mean, I got to swing it around a little bit over there and play with it. I did not get to dig any non-planet targets, but I did get to watch some people use it, and I was pretty impressed.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to find out some information on it. It's good seeing that Mind Lab is finally increasing their technology and moving forward. What else was going on out there?
Well, there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of different vendors doing different things. They had music, they had food, they had reenactments of medieval people and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It was actually quite a good time, and my wife was able to go to a big horse show while I was out detecting, so she was happy as well.
Did you get to meet Ringy while he was out there? Our good friend Tim?
No, I did not get to meet him, but I got to talk to Aqua Chigger.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Met, who is local to me. He doesn't live too far from me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jocelyn and Dr. Tones talked to them as well. They were there.
Oh, yeah. And Digger Dawn, another one of our friends, was there as well. That's fantastic.
Yes, I didn't get to speak to her, but yes, she was there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It must have been great. I mean, it was like everything that you're saying is like Detectable was the who's who of metal detecting all in a single spot. I'm hoping that we can get GDA out there next year and represent us as well, and get a couple people out of the U.S. like Mike and Dave to come out with me.
Yeah, it was. I would recommend going. It was like I said, after detecting here in the U.S. and I'm pretty new at this. I've only been digging about 2 years, and my concentration is typically on Civil War relics. So this was a whole different realm for me.
Yeah.
What did you learn, Dan?
I learned there's a lot of walking in England. When you have 1,000 acres of tilled soil with a lot of shale in it, it's pretty tough walking.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about the shale that's out there in the ground.
Now, how's the food out there?
I'm sorry?
How's the food? What do they have out there that's different, or did you try anything different?
No, nothing out of the ordinary. Everything was pretty decent. It's typical steak, potatoes, that kind of stuff.
What? No,
I didn't do any blood pudding or anything, or haggis or anything like that.
You know spotted dick?
No, didn't try that either.
That's fantastic. Now, the biggest question, I guess, that I wanted to ask you, the flight is about 6.5 to 7 hours from where you're at. Was it worth the trip, and would you recommend anybody else going to Detectable next year?
I would definitely recommend it. I think there are some probably private tours that probably might be a little bit better, but for a total immersion, it's great.
Yeah. I'm gonna, hopefully I can get out there next year, and maybe I can talk these other two knuckleheads to come out with me, and and we can actually do a live show with everybody out there. That'd be fantastic. But yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have any place where people can see you, Dan?
Basically what I have is we have a little Facebook page. It's called DMV Diggers, and that would be the District of Columbia, which is Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So it's DMV Diggers, Coins and Relics, and we're a bunch of pretty newbie guys, I guess, within 2 years that have started digging. We don't always know what we find, but we like to dig and have fun. We found a lot of good stuff, and the site's mainly just to help people out that are pretty new in the hobby and figure out what they've got without, too much hard times.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You'll definitely be checking that out. That's DMV Diggers for District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan, for coming on the show.
All right, my name on there is Moto Man Dan.
Moto Man Dan. So everybody go check out DMV Diggers on Facebook and look up Moto Man Dan. All right. Thank you again. And we'll definitely be bringing you back in at some point later on down the line.
All right, well, thanks for having me on, and hope I see you over in England.
Yeah, me too. All right. Talk to you later.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Dan.
All right, so that was Dan Kenny out of the U.S., and make sure you go check him out on Facebook. That's DMV Diggers over there. Definitely a great guy. Comes highly recommended from Luke Higgins, and I can definitely see why. Seems like a great guy.
All right, that was a pretty good little show. We covered a lot of things today. We got to talk to some really great people. We quadrupled our phone calls.
We couldn't get them to stop,
which is good. Yeah, so it was a good show. You know what? Guess what I'm going to do right now?
What's that? You're going to go watch football.
I'm going to go watch football. And I'm going to go drink a beer. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, just remember this. Nobody circles the wagons more than the Buffalo Bills.
You know, brother, because I got a feeling Buffalo's going to the Super Bowl. And you feel the feeling. Yeah, that's an old Bruce, what's it called? Bruce Smith song. Man, when we went to the 4 Super Bowls in a row.
How many did you win?
We lost the first one by the last second field goal that we missed just wide right. We got blown out in the next 2, and then we're up 13-3 at halftime in the 4th one, and we lost because Thurman Thomas fumbled the ball right after the second half. So yeah, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the Pack will be there again, Dave. It's just.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they will. So hopefully both teams will win. They're mirroring each other this year. Usually they're just the opposite. Whatever the Packers do, the Bills don't. But now they're doing the same. So they're both 3-1. So hopefully they will continue. Maybe they'll meet each other in the Super Bowl.
Bills are off to a great start. They have an excellent defense, giving up only 12 points a game, and they're scoring a few points. So congratulations to the Bills.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I know you're a big Chicago Bears fan.
Oh, yeah. Now, I am a Cubs fan. I will say that. I am a Chicago Cubs fan, but a big Packer fan, football.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was
fun,
a pleasure
guys.
talking to you, everybody, today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And Lance, great show. Mike, great show.
Great job on the technical end there, Lance. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's getting better. And, with luck, we're going to be expanding here pretty soon and getting a lot more equipment, and it's going to run a lot better. So
I think with the ugly people not being shown, maybe technically it runs better for some reason, right? Skype doesn't like ugly people. That's why you didn't see me and Mike today. We left a good-looking guy to be the face of the franchise.
To be argued.
Take care, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Mike. Lance, I'll see you later.
All right. Well,
I'm out of here. Hasty banana.
Yeah. Well, as always, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dave. And to everybody out there listening in and watching us live right now, thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you out on the fields. Let's dig it up, y'all. All right, so we're clear on the video, we're clear on the audio, and we are now saying goodbye video.